as a Christian, I watch this video and I think like, dang, I mean, not specifically me, because I'm not walking around putting people in hell. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Nick Henderson. If you're new here, what's up? What's good? Why don't you go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Maybe we can get to know each other a little bit better. And, you know, maybe this is the start of something new. It feels so right to be here with you. Thank you. Now look y'all, today's conversation, as you can tell by the title of this video, it's gonna be an interesting one. So I'm ready, let's do it, let's get into it. All right, so just a quick synopsis for those who don't plan on watching the video. Basically, Lil Nas X is trolling as usual. He's trolling numerous religious, like but stories, beliefs, and he's depicting just like what it would be like if he was, you know, in the Garden of Eden, or if he, you know, were faced with, you know, judgment and what would play out as a result. And the thing that has everyone up in arms, or the part of the video that has everyone up in arms, is when he has descended into hell, he's arrived, he's, you know, he's feeling himself, he's like reincarnated into like this, you know, just rebellious version of himself. And he, as we all have heard by now, infamously gives Satan a lap dance, is seducing Satan, and you know, he's gallivanting through hell. And before the lap dance, his descent into hell was via stripper pole. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, and then the video ends with him, you know, killing Satan and him claiming Satan's horns, and I guess now Lil Nas X is the new Prince of Darkness. Sure. Now, I just want to start off by saying I am a Jesus follower. I am one who proclaims to follow Christ, and I have centered my life around that as best as possible. That's just what I was raised in, and what I've personally, as an adult, have just found valuable for my spiritual walk, my spiritual journey. If you notice, I didn't say Christian, because in this new space that I'm in spiritually, like sometimes I have a hard time grouping myself under the category of capital C Christian, and just found so many different issues with how Christianity has been painted, and it's been, you know, just how Christianity has been upheld. And for me personally, as someone, like, yes, in theory I am a Christian, but as a 24, about to be 25-year-old Christian in 2021, there are just certain things that I am wrestling with, but I'm always going back to what Christ has said about things, what God has said about certain things, and I try to live accordingly. With that being said, I, as a believer, definitely found the video, you know, kind of just like, yo, like, what's the point, man? Like, why do you gotta do this? Like, this is so like early 2010s, when all the pop girls like Kesha, Lady Gaga, even Beyonce were using religious undertones in their music videos, even their songs. And I know that some of it is definitely marketing, but I also believe that there is a specific agenda within the music industry that likes to promote certain beliefs that may not always be the most like angelic. And I'm a firm believer in there is definitely a presence of darkness within the entertainment industry. And I remember watching videos on like, oh, Illuminati this, Illuminati that, Beyonce, Lady Gaga's an Illuminati puppet. Like, I used to watch videos like this. So this is not the first rodeo with this type of stuff. I think that this is definitely one of the most blatant and just overt expressions of religious allegory or satanic symbolism. I don't want to say satanic worship, but I mean, that's debatable. I personally I don't get it. and it may not be for me to understand, but that's how I, as a Christian, like, see it. But as a creative and as someone who likes to dig a little bit deeper into why people do what they do, like, I'm a firm believer in cause and effect. Everybody does things as a result of what they've experienced, how they have been affected, and we have to understand that. There's a bigger thing to be assessed here, and I think that thing is this deeply rooted homophobia that is within the Christian community, that is within our society, that always kind of comes out in scenarios like this. So at this point, I haven't really heard many like responses specifically from Lil Nas X regarding this video, and I'm sure by the time, you know, I release this video, it'll be hella. For me, I feel like specifically this video coming from Lil Nas X, who is a black queer man, I am 100% certain that this is a response to the church, capital C, and Christianity, capital C. So the big umbrella of religion that has literally, you know, indoctrinated people with this belief that if you're gay, then you're going to hell. If you're gay, then God is not, you know, pleased with you. You're an abomination. So just this rhetoric that has been literally just shoved down people's throats for literally years. I think now we're seeing it being, you know, just imitated. Somebody like Lil Nas X, he's like, all right, bet, I'm about to give y'all something to talk about since this is already what y'all talk about. So what I think that people should look at within this video is understanding the hurt that I think is the catalyst for this entire like visual. And not specifically just Lil Nas X's hurt, but the hurt of an entire community. I don't doubt that this video is in response to the years of hate, the years of bigotry, the years of, you know, just condemnation that has been thrown at not only just Lil Nas X, but the entire, you know, LGBTQ community. Did I say that right? LGBTQ? I hope I said that right. But I think that, like, it's about time that folks are called out. And when I say folks, I think the church, Christians, have to be called out and held accountable, because it's like, at the end of the day, no one can put anybody in heaven and no one can put anyone in hell. Your pastor, your priest, your bishop, your deacon, all that, all of them, none of them can put you in heaven or hell. They can absolutely guide you. They can be, you know, a good example of the life that you are to lead here on earth, but they can't put you in hell. They can't put you in heaven. So for this to be something, specifically for homosexuality to be this huge overarching thing within Christianity and hyper focus on it, I believe that it's only a matter of time that folks are going to start responding in very overt ways. And I think that this video absolutely successfully does that. You know, like, there's only a matter of time when folks are going to start to rebel and to do it within their proximity of influence. So somebody like Lil Nas X, who has the attention of the entire world, like, I don't think that it's just completely just, you know, like, shocking that he would choose to respond to all the hate and all of the bigotry that he's experienced this way. Yes, I wrestle with the just personal, like, conviction of, like, what's being portrayed in this video and the glorification of, like, darkness. Like, I struggle with that, I wrestle with that. I even like the song, TBH. Like, I've actually been waiting for this song to drop literally since, like, last year when he started teasing it. But I wrestle. But on the other side of that, I personally see hurt. I personally see, you know, years and years of just bottled up aggression, frustration, emotion regarding this ideology around, like, being gay or queer or, you know, a part of the LGBT community. And I think what should be assessed in this video, and I'm doing this and looking here because my computer's here, but I think what should be assessed here is like, yo, like, what are we doing as Christians? What are we doing as the church to perpetuate this hate and bigotry toward the LGBT community? Regardless of what you believe, regardless of if you think, you know, this community is going to hell, bump that. At the end of the day, we are all human beings, and we all reserve the right to be respected, to be loved, and that should be the focus. That should be the call. That should be the mission that we all live our lives by. And for me, and I've experienced this, and I've been a part of communities where, you know, homosexuality absolutely has been a hyper focus and has been an overarching theme of many sermons, and how they respond to the gay community. I can absolutely recognize that there's a lack of understanding, a lack of patience, a lack of grace, and I know I'm fed up, so I can only imagine what someone like Lil Nas X is experiencing, or what other, you know, individuals within, you know, the gay community are experiencing. So I just think that, like, as a Christian, there should come a time and a moment where it's like, all right, you know what? Let me think about how I am contributing to this berating, to this hate that people take on and, you know, personalize, where literally they feel like they have no access to God. They have zero type of, you know, grace, zero type of mercy, zero type of love, like emphasis on love, where they literally feel like Jesus, God, the entire nines, that they are not loved. So for me, my heart breaks. My heart feels a sense of grief thinking about Lil Nas X, thinking that, like, oh, okay, cool, y'all been putting me in hell all my life because of, you know, me being gay. So, I mean, F it. Like, I'm about to really give y'all something to talk about. And it being this form of rebellion. When I think about rebellion, nobody just wakes up today like, aha, rebellion. I want to rebel today because I just feel that in my bones. I just want to rebel because it seems like fun. Like, rebellion comes from oppression. Rebellion comes from aggression, frustration, like all these things. So I think Lil Nas X is pretty fed up, and this video is just his form of rebellion. As a Christian, I watch this video and I think, like, dang, I mean, not specifically me, because I'm not walking around putting people in hell. Based off of my experiences with sexuality, with people literally since I was like 5 being called gay, like, you know, so I have my own personal, you know, frustration. What I hope at least one person takes away from this video is a sense of understanding, and not understanding me and my beliefs, because at the end of the day, like, we're all entitled to how we feel and what we think, but there is a aggressive issue and an aggressive genocide, if you will, happening within our church and within Christianity, specifically as it pertains to homosexuality. And this is a very bold statement that I'm making, but people are literally killing themselves. People are literally denying themselves of the love that literally Jesus was sent here for, literally was sent here and died for. There are folks being deprived of that because they are being led to believe that they are an abomination, that they are just not the idea of what Jesus was sent here for. And Easter is coming up, so I challenge many of you to really dive into the mission of Jesus and why Jesus was sent here, why he did what he did. Like, Jesus was freaking hanging out with prostitutes, and not once did he say, like, yo, you about to go to hell, God hates you. Like, Jesus was kicking it with everybody, and I believe if Jesus was here today, he'd be kicking it and shooting the breeze with the LGBT community. So for us as, you know, believers, and those of us who are here to represent and, you know, lead a life like Christ, for us to be walking around like, you know, we got this figured out and we know you know, who's going to inherit the kingdom of God versus who's not, that we need to cut that out. Because if we want to get technical, homosexuality in the Bible being referred to as sin is no different than lying, cheating, adultery, gluttony, like being classified as a sin. And I'm pretty sure all of us has lied at some point, probably stolen something. And I'm not saying like you can't have an opinion, you can't feel some type of way, you can't feel, you know, disrespected, offended, whatever. I'm not saying that at all. Like, I think that there should come a cutoff in the energy you give something when you just consider the source. And I'm not like shading or bashing like non-Christians who decide to do things that are not morally in sync with Christian beliefs. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, as a believer, there should come a moment where you're like, all right, hey, I mean, hey, they have never proclaimed to be a Christian, so like, I think that grace is something that we need to constantly extend to everybody, not just Christians. Like, I think that Lil Nas X, despite this video and how it, you know, kind of depicts and portrays like religion and almost makes a mockery of it, like, he deserves grace, he deserves mercy, and he deserves love. And, you know, that is always the mission. Like, I think that is the core value and the core mission of Christ. So my call to action, and what I hope people can take away from this video, is, can we just meet people where they're at and love them accordingly, and find a balance between, you know, leading them in a respective, you know, direction and respective path without doing too much, but also too just making sure that they understand the core foundation of love that we are meant to operate in, you know, and operate from. My mission in life is to uphold just core values that consist of love. That's number one all the time. I mean, I'm not always successful and consistent in that, but that's the goal. And when I'm approaching situations and moments like this, I'm viewed it through the lens of, how can I understand this person better? How can I love this person better? Yeah, those are my thoughts. All right, if you made it to the end of this video, shout out to you. You are the real MVP. I know I said a lot, so I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you have to say, your thoughts around this subject, and maybe we can have a little conversation about it in the comments. So be sure to comment. Also, if you are not subscribed, subscribe now. Comment, like, all that stuff. But be sure to turn on the notification button, because, you know, you need to be the first to know what's going on, because it's only gonna get better. It's only gonna get better and better and better, and you need to be the first one to know what's going on. Okay? All right, y'all. Peace out.